Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today's Monday, July 15th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap the Wimbledon from the weekend and the two great finals that we had. Summer League action from the weekend, baseball from yesterday, look ahead to today. Trade news in baseball, and a big-name NBA player is released. All right. Wimbledon. Two pretty good matches, one classic and one that was competitive that I thought would be a little bit more competitive than it was. We'll start on the women's side. Simona Halep defeated Serena Williams in 2 sets, and Simona Halep is your deserving winner of the Wimbledon. She was so dominant throughout the tournament, and it was pretty incredible to watch. And the day before, Serena defeated Barbora Strykova, and Elena Svitolina was who fell short against Halep in the semifinal. Men's side, on Friday, Novak Djokovic defeated Roberto Bautista Agut in 4 sets, and Roger Federer defeated Rafael Nadal in 4 sets. Then Sunday was the classic championship. Novak Djokovic over Roger Federer in 5 sets. It was spectacular. Federer, I think, should have won, but good for Djokovic. He never really gave up, and he fought through it, and he found a way to win the men's side of this tournament. Summer League from the weekend. From Friday, 76ers over the Raptors, 108-102. As PJ Dozier had 22 for Philly. Lyndall Wingington had 26 for Toronto. Lakers over Warriors 88-87. Lakers came from behind to win this one. Jordan Caroline had 20 for the Lakers, and Kevin McClain had 24 for Golden State. Thunder over Croatia 69-68. Croatia was competitive. Antonio Varkanovic had 16 for them, and Devin Kennedy had 12 for Oklahoma City. Suns over China 94-64. Ray Spalding had 11 for Phoenix, and Guo Aline had 15 for China. Cavs over the Kings 98-96 in overtime. This was a fun game. Malik Newman had 33 for Cleveland. B.J. Johnson had 20 for Sacramento. Pacers over the Clippers 86-75. Elias Johnson had 25 for Indiana, and O'Shea Brissett had 18 for the Clippers. Trailblazers over the Bucks 99-84. Gary Trent had 28 for Portland, and Bonzi Colson had 14 for Milwaukee. Hawks over the Spurs 80-72. Matt Mooney had 17 for Atlanta. Darius Morris had 12 for San Antonio. Saturday, more consolations in quarterfinals. On Friday was all consolation. Hornets over the Jazz 84-74. That was a consolation. Kennedy Meeks had 18 for Charlotte. George King had 20 for Utah. Quarterfinal, Grizzlies over the Celtics 94-88. Tyler Harvey had 20 for Memphis. Carson Edwards had 25 for Boston. Consolation, Knicks over Wizards 103-87. RJ Barrett, 21 points, 10 assists, and 8 boards. He was excellent. Moritz Wagner had 20 for Washington. Quarterfinal, the Pelicans over the Heat 101-100 in overtime. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 34 for New Orleans, and Duncan Robinson had 26 for Miami. Magic over the Bulls 85-73 in a consolation. Emile Jefferson had 19 for Orlando. Daniel Gafford had 14 for the Bulls. Quarterfinal, Nets over the Pistons 105-85. Jaron Allen had 30 for Brooklyn. Jordan Bone had 18 for Detroit. Consolation, Rockets over the Nuggets 105-96. Dan Goodell had 20 for Houston. Brandon Goodwin had 22 for Denver. Quarterfinal, Timberwolves over the Mavs 108-82. Kalen Martin had 23 for Minnesota, and Antonius Cleveland had 17 for Dallas. Yesterday, 2 semifinals. Grizzlies over the Pelicans 88-86 in overtime. Go-ahead basket was scored by, I believe it was Brandon Clark, who scored the go-ahead basket for Memphis. He finished the game for 23 points. Trayvon Blewett had 16 for New Orleans. Timberwolves over the Nets 85-77 in the other semifinal. Jared Allen had 15 for Brooklyn and Naz Reid had 20 for Minnesota. The final is tonight, 9 o'clock, ESPN2, Grizzlies, Timberwolves. I am going to pick the Memphis Grizzlies here. I think they have the better lineup, and I think they'll get the job done over the T-Wolves, who have also had a good summer league. All right, baseball. Going to go over yesterday's games, look ahead to tonight's games. And today's games, there's one day game actually on the schedule. Yankees over the Blue Jays 4-2. New York with the best record in the AL, 59-32. Toronto 35-59. Masahiro Tanaka 6-5. Marcus Stroman 5-10. Aroldis Chapman gets his 25th save of the year. Tanaka 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 3.81. Stroman 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 3.25. Rays over the Orioles 4-1. Tampa Bay 55-40. Baltimore 28-65. Ryan Yarbrough the win. The loss for Baltimore dropping to 0-1. Thomas Eshelman. Emilio Pagan gets his 6th save of the year. The story of this game is that the Rays had a combined perfect game going into the 9th inning. Then Hansel Alberto beat the shift with the 9th inning leadoff single to end any threats of a Rays combined perfect game. Ryan Stanek, 2 innings, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 3.14. Ryan Yarbrough, 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 4.26. He obviously was the one that gave up the hit that ended the threat of a perfect game. And then the rest of the bullpen did its job. Phils over the Nats 4-3 on a walk-off homer by Maikel Franco. Phils are 48-45. Washington 49-43. Hector Neris the win. The losing pitcher dropping 0-2 for the Nats, Matt Grace. Starting for Philly yesterday was Jake Arrieta, 5 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 4.54. Anibal Sanchez, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 3.71. Indians over the Twins 4-3. The Indians are 51-40. Minnesota 58-34. Adam Simber to win. Trevor May the loss. Brad Hand the save. Shane Bieber pitched for Cleveland. 6 1/3 innings. 5 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 9 strikeouts, ERA 3.49. Jose Barrios of Minnesota. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 3.1. Mets over the Marlins 6-2. New York is 42-51. Miami 34-57. Jacob deGrom the win. Sandy Alcantara the loss. DeGrom, 5 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 3.21. Alcantara, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 3.94. Giants over the Brewers 8-3. The Giants are 43-49. Milwaukee 48-46. Tyler Beede the win. Corbin Burns the loss. Beede 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 5.44. Chacin, 5 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 5.18. Cardinals over the Diamondbacks 5-2. The Cardinals are 46-45. Arizona 47-47. Adam Wainwright 6-7. Zach Greinke 10-4. Carlos Martinez gets his 5th save of the year. Adam Wainwright 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts, ERA 3.99. He's pitched well this year. Greinke 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA 2.95. He did not pitch well in that start. Tigers over the Royals 12-8. Detroit is 29-59. KC is 32-62. Noe Ramirez the win. Brian Flynn the loss. Jordan Zimmerman pitched for the Tigers. 4 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 7.01. Jorge Lopez 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 6.42. Cubs over the Pirates 8-3. The Cubs have won 4 in a row. They're 50-43. Pittsburgh is 44-48. Jose Quintana the win. Trevor Williams the loss. Quintana 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 4.21. Trevor Williams 5 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 8 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 5.17. Astros over the Rangers 12-4. Much needed win for Houston. 59-35. Texas is 50-44. Justin Verlander the win. Ariel Gerardo the loss. Verlander 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, ERA 2.98. Ariel Gerardo, 4 innings, 7 and 5 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 4.63. Rockies over the Reds, 10-9. Rockies are 46 and 46. Cincinnati, 42 and 48. Antonio Senzatella the win, Tyler Mahle the loss, Wade Davis the save. Senzatella 5 in the third inning, 7 innings, 8 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 5.79. Mahle 4 in the third innings, 12 hits, 6 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 4.82. Angels over the Mariners 6-3. What a weekend for the Angels. I'll get to that in a second. They're 48 and 46. Seattle is 39 and 58. Ty Bettery to win. The losing pitcher for the Mariners dropping to 1 and 3 on the year. Anthony Bass. Hansel Robles gets his 13th save of the year. Jose Suarez, 4 and 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts. ERA 5.51. Yusei Kikuchi, 42 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 5.01. Athletics over the White Sox 3-2. The A's are 53 and 41. The White Sox are 42 and 47. They won on a walk-off error. Liam Hendricks the win, Jace Fry the loss. Brian Anderson, 6 and 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, ERA 3.79. I'm sorry, Brett Anderson, not Brian. Reynaldo Lopez, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 5.97. Braves over the Padres 4-1. Atlanta's clearly the second best team in the NL right now. 57 and 37. San Diego's 45 and 48. Mike Soroka the win. He's 10 and 1. The loss, dropping to 1 and 2 on the year for the Padres. Trey Wingenter, and getting the save is AJ Minter. Mike Soroka, 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs, a walk, 9 strikeouts, ERA 2.24. Kel Quantrill, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, ERA 4.21. Dodgers over the Red Sox, 7-4 in 12 innings. Great game on Sunday Night Baseball. 62 and 33 on the year of the Dodgers. Best team in baseball. Boston 50-43. Dylan Floro to win. Hector Velasquez the loss. Joe Kelly the save in his return to Boston. Heejin Ryu, 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA 1.78. David Price, 5 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 3.16. All right, today's game's at 2 o'clock. Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Giants and the Rockies. Jeff Samardzija and German Marquez. 7 o'clock ESPN. Dodgers, Phillies, Clayton Kershaw against Zach Eflin. Guess what? I'm not taking the Dodgers. I'm taking Philadelphia in this game because the Dodgers bullpen was overused last night and overworked, and that extra inning extra inning win against the Red Sox. So I see some tiredness out of their pen. Clayton Kershaw has been good this year, but not the Clayton Kershaw of old. He'll never be the Clayton Kershaw of old. His ERA is 3.09. Clayton Kershaw of old, his ERA was sub-2. But I think Kershaw will pitch well in this game, but I think the bullpen will blow up. So give me Philadelphia in a 7-5 type of game. So I would like the dog here tonight at home. Rays, Yankees. James Paxton and Blake Snell. Battle of two pitchers that have not lived up to expectations. Tigers, Indians. Daniel Norris and Adam Plutko. Blue Jays, Red Sox. Trent Thornton and Rick Porcello. Reds, Cubs at 8 o'clock. Luis Castillo, Kyle Hendricks. Braves, Brewers. Max Fried and Adrian Hauser. White Sox, Royals at 8:15. Lucas Giolito and Jacob Junis. Pirates, Cardinals. Joe Musgrove and Miles Mikolas. The Cardinals better get going here to make this thing interesting in the NL. Game 2 of a doubleheader between the Giants and the Rockies at 8:40. Derek Rodriguez, and we don't know who's going for Colorado yet. And then 10 o'clock, Astros, Angels. Let's see if the Angels get this streak still going. Josh James and Griffin Canning. So, two things about the Angels real quick. One, they had a weekend to remember. Friday night was their first home game since the passing of Tyler Skaggs. And what did the Angels go out and do? They pitch a combined no-hitter. You can't make this shit up. Like, come on. Like, it's unbelievable. Great performance by the Angels duet of Taylor Cole and Felix Pena. They score a whopping 7 runs in the first inning and 13 runs in the entire game. Tyler Skaggs' birthday, 7/13, which is July 13th. And this happened on July 12th. Mike Trout hits a home run on the first pitch he sees. It goes 454 feet. Tyler Skaggs 445. The last combined no-hitter in the state of California was the Athletics that pulled it off, and it was on July 13th, 1991. And you ask me, what day was that? Tyler Skaggs was born on that date. Like, again, you can't make this shit up. I swear, baseball has gods. I think every sport has gods. And Friday night was a proof of that. And I couldn't be happier for the Angels organization personally in terms of how Friday night played out. And they deserve a special moment like they did on Friday night, as tragic as that passing was for Tyler Skaggs. And I feel really bad. And another thing is that his mother threw out the first pitch, so I thought that was fitting as well. So Tyler was definitely there in spirit on Friday night, and I hope, for the Angels' sake, they're hoping this turns into a magical sort of run for them to the second wild card, which they would need a lot of help, and plus they would have to give away the farm to do that. I think they need more than one pitcher to do it. I wrote them off in terms of the buyers-sellers list. And that was right before Skaggs was passing. They're 11 back of Houston in the division. And they are 5 back of the wild card. And they were 6.5 back of the wild card, like right before Skaggs was passing. So let's hope that this thing for the Angels really gives them a boost, because they deserve something good. And Mike Trout deserves something good. And I said at the time he passed away, he isn't Tyler Skaggs, this is either going to turn into a rallying cry and they go on a nice run, or it could crumble their season and have that be a distraction. And it looks like it's going to be former rather than the latter, so that's good for the Angels. And speaking of Mike Trout, he's hurt, so he might not play tonight against the Astros. He has a bit of a wrist issue. I don't think he's going to go on the injured list because I don't think it's that bad of an injury. And speaking of baseball in terms of trades, 2 trades happened over the weekend. The Boston Red Sox acquired Andrew Kastner from the Baltimore Orioles, and he will be their number 5 starter in their rotation, as once Nathan Eovaldi comes back, he will be their closer. And going back to Baltimore in this deal, minor league infielder Norbert Romero and minor league outfielder Elio Prado. So 2 not so great pieces going to Baltimore in return. That's about what you expect, because Andrew Kastner would be a nice fit there in the back end of the rotation, but his stats are horrible against the Yankees, so that's certainly not good from a Red Sox perspective. But that said, he's better than what they have as a number 5 starter, or what they have had before the Nathan Eovaldi injury. And the other trade that happened over the weekend was that the Kansas City Royals traded away Homer Bailey to the Oakland Athletics. And Bailey has had a 2.86 ERA in his last 6 starts. That really boosted his trade value. And going back to the Royals in this deal, Double-A infielder Kevin Morrell, number 17 prospect for the Athletics, so they have to pay something to get him. And I believe there was one more piece in the deal as well. It doesn't say what it was, but Morel is an interesting price to give up for somebody that is just sort of mediocre. Maybe he'll pitch well in Oakland in that bigger ballpark. He pitched well certainly for the Royals this year, surprisingly. And the A's are taking $250,000 of Bailey's remaining salary. So we'll see if Bailey helps. But Morel, going back to the Royals, is a good get for that team, especially for an aging starting pitcher like Homer Bailey. One last thing before Best Bet. The Cleveland Cavaliers released J.R. Smith. That news just broke as I was signing on to the podcast. It's not surprising. I think he'll end up in Los Angeles with the Lakers because they need like one more bench piece. And that would reunite JR with LeBron. So I think that's the most likely destination. I think that another team that's in play for JR would be the Miami Heat, who need some more depth on their team after getting Jimmy Butler. Maybe the Houston Rockets off their bench after acquiring Russell Westbrook. I don't see the Clippers in play for JR. I think if any of the LA teams get him, it's the Lakers. Maybe he goes to Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving. They could use another bench piece. The Boston Celtics could use some secondary scoring too. So any of the contenders, Indiana would be interesting. Wouldn't rule out the New Orleans Pelicans maybe. I'm trying to think of another good team. I don't think the Spurs would be in play for JR. That's just not a Popovich type of guy. Does he go back to Denver? That would be interesting. Portland could use somebody like him off the bench. I don't think Utah will go in that direction because I think they have their roster filled out. So it should be interesting to see who picks up J.R. Smith, who should probably go somewhere that will really make him not do stupid things. So that's why I'm kind of skeptical of this Lakers fit. And that's why I would be sort of surprised if he doesn't go. Because I feel like he does well with LeBron James. But that organization has kind of been a circus, but they kind of shedded that reputation a little bit after the Anthony Davis trade and the little moves that they pulled off after missing out on Kawhi Leonard. So I wouldn't rule out JR going to the Lakers. And that, to me, is my best bet. I would say that's a 5-1 guess that he ends up in Los Angeles. And everybody else, I think, should be like double-digit to 1. And any of those horrible teams like the Knicks or the Bulls or somebody like that should be in the triple digits to 1 in terms of gambling odds for J.R. Smith's next team. All right. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. We have some interesting stuff, such as baseball games, the Summer League final. And it sucks that the Wimbledon's over because the Wimbledon was providing us some interesting bets as well. I'm going to go with the Rockies in their first game against the Giants. I'm avoiding the Dodgers. I already said I was picking the Phillies in that game, but I'm not putting the Phillies on best bet. Indians. The Red Sox, I'm going to go with the St. Louis Cardinals, although I don't feel super about it, and same with the Chicago White Sox. That's 5, a shade above 9-1, wagering $1, payout of $10.02. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back either sometime later this afternoon or tomorrow with my buddy Derek as we'll go over the Wimbledon and pick out winners and losers of the NBA and NHL off seasons and talk about the baseball trade deadline as well. Tomorrow's podcast, we'll talk about baseball, the Summer League final, and anything else that happens in the world of sports. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.